Hey folks, welcome to Neo-Buddhist Taoism number 10. Tonight we're going to be discussing Tao Te Ching number 10 as written by Gaia Fu Feng in Jane English. I'm here with Connie. Hello, Connie.
Hi.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we're going to get right into it, and it's going to be a lot of discussion here because there's a lot here. So here we go. Carrying the body, the soul, and embracing the one. Can you avoid separation? Attending fully and becoming supple. Can you be as a newborn babe? Washing and cleansing the primal vision. Can you be without stain? Loving all men and ruling the country. Can you be without cleverness? Opening and closing the gates of heaven. Can you play the role of a woman? Understanding and being open to all things. Are you able to do nothing? Giving birth and nourishing. Bearing, yet not possessing. Working, yet not taking credit. Leading, yet not dominating. These things are the primal virtue. All right. So, full disclosure, we actually had technical issues last time, and so this is the second time we're going through this. So let's start off. Carrying body and soul and embracing the one. Can you avoid separation?
I would say that the answer to all of these questions is no.
It's almost like you've seen these questions before and already thought about them. I think you might have cheated on this test.
I would cheat.
So, carrying body and soul and embracing the one. So, basically, this is talking about the three things that we have created that are not actually separated, but we view them as separated. And so, obviously, your physical body, your soul, and the one. Yeah.
Yeah, and in the beginning, the first two or three talked about the word and essentially how the very naming of a thing separates it from everything else. It's all a process of separation, actually. All our cleverness.
Yes.
And I think that's very true. And can we see the truth of the world, the truth of our experience, as we would had we no words?
All right.
Probably not.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, this is basically... You're right. The answer is no. You can't. Mm-hmm. But the ideal would be to think of to not be separated. That your body and your soul and the one are all one. And if you could avoid separation, that would be ideal.
Yeah.
So attending fully and becoming supple. Can you be as a newborn babe? So perfect concentration on everything that is happening constantly.
Mm-hmm.
It would require to completely give up the inner dialogue and to be supple. So can you do it? Probably not. But that would be the ideal. So the next one is one of my favorites because this is actually the the mention of the primal vision, which I had actually referenced in a previous episode. It says, "Can you be without stain?" So basically, this one is talking about that we don't really see the world for what it is. Like we look, like right now, you're probably looking at something or looking around the room, but what you're seeing is not what is there. You are looking at it through a filter of your preconceptions and biases that are changing what you see away from what it actually is.
Correct.
And so, can you be without stain? The primal vision would be without any preconceptions or biases, from beyond a place of ego, and to be able to see what actually exists. Yeah.
Right.
And I have heard of methods. There are methods. Apparently, I don't know them, but I have read of them, of actually trying to see more clearly through different means. And obviously, those are probably still going to be biased through their own system or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so hey, we made it. We made it, Connie, to where we were last time.
Yeah. And I referenced Jacques Lacan because he is the French philosopher. He has a whole thing about stain and how the stain tends to dominate the perception of the item. Say it's a tablecloth. If you have a big red wine stain, or even the tiny spot of a wine stain on that white tablecloth, then your mind is your vision are taken up with the stain almost exclusively. And I think that the idea of the primal vision is not to not see the spot, but to not differentiate it as being a stain, as being, not supposed to be there. It just is, as if it had always been meant to be a part of it, which is almost impossible to do, to actually see things in that way.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah.
Next is loving all men and ruling the country. Can you be without cleverness? So there's like a whole part of the Tao Te Ching was actually wisdom, supposed to be wisdom for the ruling class. Part of it. And I think that was because Lao Tzu was, in mythology, he was an advisor to kings because he was the wise man,
Uh-huh.
And so, yeah, that's why when I told my story of Lao Tzu, I had it so that Lao Tzu actually went to the king and asked for his advice, and Lao Tzu told him the truth, and he went and did his own thing. Because that would be that made a lot of sense why he would become sick at heart and turn his back on humanity.
Right.
It's kind of, I guess my brand of Taoism is kind of sad in a way. I don't know. It feels kind of sad, and I don't know what to do about that. But it's like an integral piece of it. It's sad because Lao Tzu gave up. He gave up on people. He didn't find the answers for his own situation in his teachings.
Well, I mean, that's a lot of assumption.
Yeah. Well, first of all, that's a made-up story, but I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm sorry. Hey, so ruling a country without cleverness. So yeah, I guess it says over and over in these passages about that the selflessness of leaders is the most important because it affects the most. And so if you have a selfless leader who has the interests of the people at his heart and not his interests, then or her, especially since Clinton may be our president, that would be for the best. It says that many, many, many times, and we do not see that, and I think it's very rare that you will get a benevolent dictator. But if you did have a benevolent dictator, a truly benevolent dictator, the best it's the best form of government. I'm kind of adding a bunch of stuff in there. Sorry about that. So next is opening and closing the gates of heaven. Can you play the role of a woman? What do you think of that one?
Well, that's where everybody came from. If it hadn't been for me, you wouldn't be here.
Wait, you're my mother, Connie? Oh. All of a sudden, this all makes sense. So, well, I think the role of woman here is opening and closing the gates of heaven. Wow. You actually have a totally different take on it than me. To me, I see, like, all of us, like, making these judgments about heaven, like walking around in a day-to-day, and we're thinking, well, that person's not getting into heaven. You might make it. You know, you're definitely not. I'm not going to make it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I like yours actually better. It makes a lot of more sense.
Well, and in the Chinese tradition, the role of women was not only to have the children, but also to cleanse the dead and prepare them for burial. They were literally the keepers of the gate, where possibility becomes actuality.
I like it. So next, understanding and being open to all things. Are you able to do nothing? I think we had talked previously about doing nothing as it is talking about in Taoism. Have we?
I believe so.
Just as
I love the concept.
Just as a reminder, doing nothing in Taoism pretty much means not doing anything new. Because there's tons of stuff that need to be done. And so if you're doing the stuff that needs to be done, you're not really doing anything. You're finishing.
Yeah, it goes back to the cleverness. The Rastafarians in Jamaica have an expression that I love. They say, "Sounds very complicated, man." And that is not a compliment. I don't know, something about this "can you be without cleverness" reminds me very strongly of that.
Well, and the Chinese curse, may you live in interesting times.
Right.
So, all right. So, are you able to do nothing? Being understanding and being open to all things. Yeah, well, it's gonna be rough. I would like to work on it. So the next is like basically 4 traits that actually make up primal virtue. So before they were asking, they were saying, "Can you be this way? Can you be this way?" And now they're saying, "Be this way instead." So, giving birth and nourishing, bearing yet not possessing, working yet not taking credit, dominating.
No, leading yet not dominating.
Yes, leading but not dominating. How about dominating but not leading? No, that's not right. This is the primal virtue. So, right off the bat, I'm going to say that giving birth is going to be kind of a toughie for me.
Well, but you're giving birth. You've given birth to this series.
Oh, that's true. Mm-hmm. And now I need to nourish it.
All right.
All right. Well, I actually am going to split. We're going to continue to do this series like once a week. But I'm also going to try to do a different series called Taoists and Dragons. Yeah, and that's going to be coming along soon.
Cool.
Yeah, why not? All right, so giving birth and nourishing. These are traits that we should do. Bearing yet not possessing. Bearing yet not possessing. Bearing.
Right.
What is bearing?
Carrying.
Carrying. I like that as an Aquarius. I'm a water bearer.
Uh-huh.
What are you? Scorpio?
Yes. Still water.
Oh, but we're not.
Still water.
We're not water.
No.
Our symbol.
Air.
Our symbol is water. Oh, we're getting off subject. Our symbol is water, and but it is actually an air sign. But I ran into this barista, and she told me that it isn't a water sign. Those are lightning bolts, and that made a lot of sense.
Ah, interesting. Huh.
Working yet not taking credit. And that actually goes with leading yet not dominating. So things need to be done. Okay? And they don't need to be the stuff that you want done. There's plenty of stuff that already needs to be done that we should be doing. And not only should we be doing it, but we shouldn't worry about like getting credit for doing it. And that's because
right.
and if you become a leader and you're worried about those things, then you dominate it. In other words, it soon becomes about you. Whatever it is that you are doing becomes about
right.
you. And as soon as it becomes about you, it's no longer about what needed to be done.
Right.
And so then you end up with working on problems that are about the fact that it's about you instead of the problem that you're trying to fix. So this is the primal virtue. If you can take on the responsibility of doing what needs to be done and not worry about taking credit or possessing it, then that is the primal virtue.
Yes. That's like, it basically what they're saying is keep your ego out of it.
This whole thing is pretty much, about that. I would say that's
yeah.
right. Especially if you are leading something.
Right, if you're in a position of authority.
Yes, especially then. Mm-hmm. But all the time, yes, but especially if you're leading.
Mm-hmm.
So that is Tao Te Ching 10. We made it to the end.
How about it?
How about it? Good job. All right.
You make it sound like it's been a torturous journey.
Well,
only a few lines.
Our lives have been kind of crazy lately, both yours and mine, and so it's actually kind of a big deal for us to even be able to get together, even electronically like we are, to do this. So,
correct.
So yeah, we did it, and thank you guys for, if anybody has made it this far, the one person that somehow listened to this all the way to this point that isn't you or me. And really, that isn't me.
I admit it, I hadn't listened to the last one.
Anyway. We'll be back for number 11, hopefully next week. And in the meantime, look for Taoists and Dragons episode 1 coming soon to YouTube near you. You got any closing remarks there, Connie? Or should I call you Mom? All right. Thank you very much, and we'll catch you next time.